Hey y'all, it is Ashley and we are here at the realm of comics where we talk things manga, comics, and graphic novels, and I am here with my November reading plans. Okay, so October has been an interesting month. I will be doing an October wrap up. It'll go up sometime after this video, probably sometime next week. But I wanted to go ahead and talk a little bit about my November reading plans. Once again, fairly ambitious. If you did not know, November is 30 and 30, which is a manga reading challenge that is being hosted by myself, Izzy, Shay, and Bree. If you did not get the opportunity to watch that video, I'll link it up in the card symbol above. But I am super excited to get the opportunity to once again be a part of it, but on the hosting side. So that already means that I am going to be attempting to read 30 volumes of manga in the month of November. It's a lot. It's a whole lot. And so I went a little bit lighter on the reading plans this month because, listen, it's been, October was a lot, and so I'm like, dang, November is probably going to be a lot too. Although, you know, I'll probably have some time off in November that I'm not going to have, that I didn't have in October. Well, whatever the point is going to be. So I have a couple of things here. One thing specifically carrying over. There's going to be a couple of things that are carrying over from October, but I'm not going to mention them in this video. But one I did specifically want to mention, and another that's going to be inadvertently mentioned. But let's just go ahead and jump into the list. So the first thing that I have on my list here for the month of November is the Tom King run of Batman. So I'm currently working my way through the Scott Snyder run of Batman, and what I plan on doing is reading Scott Snyder's run, reading Tom King's run, and then reading James Tynion's run, and then comparing and contrasting the three while also doing standalone reviews for each one of their runs. I am not as far into the Scott Snyder run that I want to be. I wanted to be able to get a review up of the Scott Snyder run at the end of this month, but unfortunately here we are. It's probably not going to go up until the second half of November, and then I'm hoping to have Tom King's run done by the end of November so I can get that review up, so I can spend December focusing on James Tynion, and hopefully by focusing on James Tynion it'll lead me into exploring a little bit more of the Joker War. But I have the hardcover deluxe editions of the beginning of Tom King's run, which would be 4 volumes of it. I can't remember how long his run is, but I'm probably going to end up having to get the actual single trades and not the hardcover deluxe, because volume 3 of the hardcover deluxe editions is like impossible to find. It's like over $100 for it. It's gone out of print. I'm not spending that much on it. You can forget that. I may get volumes 5 and 6 and then pick up the rest of the hardcover collections, but we'll see. I'm excited for this. I've read a little bit of this one. I think I'm more excited to see how, and I'm putting this down because it's going to hurt my arm. I think I'm more excited to see how the writing and the character development is going to change between Tynion, King, and Snyder, because they're all going to bring their own different flair to the character, and I'm very interested in comparing and contrasting and seeing who I think did it best. The next thing that I have is another kind of low-key carryover. Not a low-key, it is a carryover from the month of October because I did not get the chance to pick it up, and that is House of X, which includes House of X and Powers of X 1 through 6. I have read a good chunk of this, but I want to start over because I don't remember much of what I read before. I didn't get the chance to pick it up. This is the beginning of Hickman's take on the X-Men, which is one that I've been really interested in reading it. There's a lot of crossover and spinning off and all types of stuff with X-Men. There's a lot going on with X-Men right now, but I think I'm just going to stick to the most basic storyline that I can, which is starting with this bind up, which has a lot going on, but I just need to sit down and power my way through it. Next on my list, I have a heavy compendium that is going to hurt my arm to really hold up, and that is Fables Compendium number 1. I've probably read all of this, to be honest with you. I think I've read all of this as the single trades, but I want to go back and reread Fables. Fables actually has continued. I don't know how many people actually knew that. It had stopped at issue 55 a long time ago, but Bill Willingham picked it back up, and it is deep in the trenches. it is pretty deep in the trenches at this point, but I need to refresh myself on a good portion of the story. I probably have reread volume 1 of Fables multiple times. I'm going to put that down because my arm is killing me. I've probably read that multiple times, like lots and lots of times, but I really enjoyed the story. I like the older school artwork. I like the idea that we're focusing on fairy tale characters. I literally just can't get enough of that. It's a fave. I'm really enjoying it. So if you did not know, in the booktube side of YouTube, there is a readathon that is currently going on that is being hosted by Kim at the Native Lady Book Warrior, and she has a readathon. I'm being repetitive here. She has a readathon called the Skoden Readathon, and one of the prompts in the Skoden Readathon is it's an additional prompt or a bonus prompt is to read a comic or graphic novel written by an Indigenous author. So I have 2 series that I have listed that I talked about on my other channel. I'm going to talk about here as well that I want to get to, and the first one is A Girl Called Echo, which I have read 2 volumes of A Girl Called Echo. It's a 4-volume series, and then I also want to finish up Surviving the City, which is a 2-volume series. All of these graphic novels are really thin. They don't take long to read. I've enjoyed what I've read of each series so far. I also want to explore some more Native and Indigenous comic book creators. There are lots of lists out there that include some great works that you can pick up, a lot of them available on Hoopla, but there are also some middle grade ones that I want to pick up. I haven't listed them here because I didn't want to overwhelm myself with an extensive list because of the 30 and 30, but I definitely will be reading more beyond the 2 that I just mentioned. Okay, so speaking of the 30 and 30, my intention was not to list 30 volumes of manga that I'm going to be reading in November, because I wanted to give myself some flexibility to read some stuff off of my shelf, but also possibly check out some stuff from the library. I know that I wanted to really focus in on a lot of the stuff that's on my shelf, but there is some stuff that I've just been randomly seeing at the library that I'm like, I low-key kind of want to read that. Not something that I maybe necessarily want to collect, but it might be fun if I just check it out and read it from the library. So I did come up with 10 things off of my shelf that I do want to explore. I'm not going to go into too heavy of a description of each one of these because we will be here for forever, but I do have some that I think are going to be fun to read. I think like 3 of these are actually from Steamship, which, no, only 2 of them are for 3, yeah. 3 of them are from Steamship. Clearly we know what type of mood I'm in when it comes to manga. Okay, so the first one that I have on this list is Dinosaur Sanctuary, which I picked up because of Shay. What's new? Most of these are from Shay and Izzy. Just nothing new about that. So I ended up picking up Dinosaur Sanctuary because the only thing that Shay had to tell me was like Jurassic Park, manga form. That's all I needed. And I've heard great things about Dinosaur Sanctuary. The artwork is really great. Very true to what dinosaurs look like, and so I'm stupid excited for this one. The next one that I have is Game Between Sweets. Listen, I'm exhausted. This is a workplace romance, and this is a steamship title, which means that it has wrapped, and that means it's a little spicy. That's all I need to know about that one. I got that one as a gift from Izzy. Next, I have Chainsaw Man Volume 2. I recently did in the same top because baby bulk filming. So I recently did a video on my first impressions of Chainsaw Man. I gave the first volume 3 stars, but I'm really interested in exploring the rest of the series. And so I have Volume 2 here. So why not just go ahead and pick it up and continue to read it? The next one that I have is another Steamship series, and this is Ladies on Top, which is another office workplace romance. And I think that this one explores traditional gender roles, especially when it comes to sex and how that can change, and just exploring those dynamics, which I'm very excited to read. Spicy. I'm excited for this one. The next one that I have is Yakuza Lover, which I think is pretty self-explanatory. Yakuza Lover meets somebody that's part of the Yakuza. Like, hello, but I've heard really, really good things about Yakuza Lover, the series. The next one that I have is Crazy Food Truck, which some people like this, some people don't. It depends. I know Shay was not a huge fan of it. I wanted to give it a try and see if I liked it. This does have some explicit content. I know that there is some hypersexualization that goes on that everybody's not necessarily a fan of. Some people just think it was just too jokey and not that great, but I definitely am excited to give it a run and see. I think that it's a shorter series. I think it's only 2 volumes, so you know, no hurt feelings if I don't end up enjoying this one as much as I think I will. I have Blue Lock because I've been meaning to read this one for a while. Blue Lock is also, it's often sold as like, if you like haiku, that intensity of sports, but with volleyball, it's kind of like that, except this has soccer. I just picked up volume 2 and I didn't realize that volume 3 is already out. So that's why I'm like, okay, I need to go ahead before the series gets out of control. And if it's anything like haiku and it ends up being like 40 something volumes, I need to go ahead and make sure that I am on track with the series. I also want to start Spy Family, which everyone's reading Spy Family. I'm the last human on earth to start Spy Family. It is what it is at this point. I have Imakoi, which is one that Shay and Izzy also really, really enjoy and one that I'm looking forward to reading myself. And then I have Fire in His Fingertips, which I still have my first volume down on my shelf with my bookmark still in it. But now I have the first 3 volumes. And so here we are. We're going to power through and read it because I was waiting for volume 2 to come back into print. It did. I got it. And now I'm at volume 3. And so I'm just excited for that. I have quite a few other things that I plan on reading and checking out and keeping on my radar for the 30 and 30. Of course, you know, I plan to continue my read of Food Wars. And now I actually have been doing good in October. I only have 1 more volume that I'm going to try to make it through, which I think puts me at 4 volumes for the month, which is good. Like, I'm happy about that. I did not make it through my section of Sweat and Soap that I wanted to make it through, so I think I'll do that. I did make it through my 2 volumes of If I Could Reach You in the month of October, so I currently have volume 5 and 6 in a cart, so I can go ahead and continue that. I actually really, I'll talk about this in my wrap up, but I actually did enjoy volume 4. So I'm looking forward to continuing that series. I have some stuff currently checked out from the library. I'm kind of looking over there. I have Master Keaton sitting on the table. I have Zom 100 sitting on the table, and I have a couple other things. I still need to finish A Silent Voice. My intention in October was to read all 7 volumes, and I only got through 2, so I could continue with that. It is a lot of options that I have when it comes to 30 and 30, so I'm just looking forward to doing that. And then of course there's going to be other comics, like single issues that I'm going to be picking up, trades that I'm going to be picking up. I just did not want to put a lot of pressure on myself and create an extensive list because 30 and 30 is going to be a lot within itself. And so, you know, just keeping it realistic. All right, y'all, if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content from me, click the subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications. If you are looking for ways to follow me on social media, all the links will be down in the description box below, and I'll be back with another video soon.